I want to get to our Tom Dempsey now. He's talking to lawmakers about what we saw today. And Tom, what are they telling you?
Well, Lorenzo, today played out much differently than, say, the January riots that took place at the Capitol. With it being Good Friday and with the Senate in recess, all the Senate offices we spoke to, Senator Mark Warner, Tim Kaine, Ben Cardin, Chris Van Hollen, none of the senators were inside the Capitol today, and neither were the staffers. The staffers worked from home. So, again, no one was inside when this all happened. But moments ago, you can actually, hours after this all happened, you can see just now how much of the emergency response has sort of moved out of this area, and that cage is now closed right near this barricade that the suspect rammed into earlier today. That's where the suspect's car was stopped earlier today, and it was towed away about an hour or two ago. But again, lawmakers were not inside. The Senate offices that we reached out to, the senators were not inside during all of this, but they still posted statements to social media. Senator Chris Van Hollen from Maryland saying his thoughts are with the police officers following this tragic day, and also with the families of those police officers. And Senator Mark Warner and Senator Tim Kaine from Virginia expressing similar thoughts following all this. But again, another live look out here hours after this all unfolded, a much quieter scene now, and that car that the suspect was driving since towed away, and the staff, the flag, I should say, atop the Capitol building now at half staff right now, Lorenzo, following just a tragic day out here at the Capitol.
Yeah, yet another one. Those lawmakers and their staff, they weren't there today, but I bet they are still all shaken by this. Tom, thank you.